Hey everyone, it's Steph and welcome back to another Woollen Wytch podcast. It's my first one of the year. Happy New Year, I guess. I know it was a few weeks ago. Don't even. I have been rushed off my feet trying to get everything prepped up and ready for this year's yarn shows, or at least the first 1/2. At the end of Christmas I realised I'd sold out of quite a lot of my colourways. The last few weeks have been a bit of a mad dash to try and get the stock in and re-dye everything, so you can probably see behind me I've got quite a lot of yarn like drying. That's not even half of it. There's still more in our ensuite bathroom that's drying and hung up. I got some in the airing cupboard. I've got more that's cooling down in the dye pans as well. It's a lot to do. So my first show in 2022 will be the East Anglia Yarn Festival. I'm really excited for it, but I'm also really stressing about it as well. So last year I only done Southern Wool Show and that was really good. It was great. I sold out of a lot of things. It was a lot busier than I was expecting, and so I now don't know what to expect for the other yarn shows. So I am trying to keep calm, but it's not happening, and dye up as much as I can. Try to have a few of every colourway that I've got and try and come up with some new ones, some sock sets and stuff. But it's a lot to try and get done in less than 10 weeks, I realised the other day. I was watching Hannah from A Corner of Crafts podcast the other week, and she mentioned that she is also trying to get everything done. It's kind of nice to know I'm not the only one that is kind of panicking and trying to make everything all in one go, but it's a lot. So the East Anglia Yarn Festival isn't the only one that I've managed to book in. I've got a few others lined up for 2022 and a few more that I'm waiting to hear back on whether I've got a table or not at. So there's East Anglia Yarn Festival in March. I've also managed to get a table at Wonderwool Wales, which I'm really excited for. There's so many names that I recognise on the exhibitor list. Along with my friend Hannah from Creative Anarchy Yarn. It'd be really nice to meet her in person, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I've also got the Summer Wool Festival in July. I want to say it's July. I wrote it down on my calendar, but it's not going in my head. Which is run by Nick, who does Southern Wool Show. He's started another wool festival called Summer Wool, which I believe is replacing Fibre East because they've stopped trading now, I think. So I've got at least 3 so far lined up for 2022. They were all at the start of the year, which means it's just more for me to try and pack in and get done over the next few months. So East Anglia Yarn Festival is in March and Wonderwool is in April, so I've only got a few weeks to dye things up or make things for a few weeks in between those 2 shows. So my worry is that I will sell out of a lot of things at East Anglia and then I won't have things for Wonderwool. So I'm trying to make sure I get as much done as I can over the next few weeks before East Anglia, and more than I think I'll need. So I try to make sure I've got at least 3 skeins of each colour in double knit and sock. But I want to make sure I've got more, especially with the more popular colourways. So if I sell out of those at East Anglia, I've still got some I'll have left over for Wonderwool. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. It vaguely makes sense for me, only a little bit. So that's my main thing at the moment. It's mainly me just it's like, so you know like on old TVs that's not been tuned in. You get that like static snow. That's what I feel like is going on in my brain at the moment. I've got a lot that I need to think about and nothing's quite fitting or settling, but I know I need to get like this and this and this and this done, and I don't know how I'm gonna fit the time in to do it all. I've sat down with my maker's yearbook, which is just like a little journal basically, for creative businesses. It's really great, but I've managed to sit down and try to plot out all the colourways that I need to dye on what day. It's just having the discipline to make sure that I get those done, especially after I finish work. It's a lot to do, especially in my tiny kitchen, which is actually, my kitchen is actually smaller than my office, but I can't dye in my office because I have no water up here. So yeah, I've started to feel like I'm outgrowing my space at home, but I am not big enough yet to move into a separate space that I can rent basically, because as much as I would like to have like a little dye shed, we don't have a garden. I live in a flat in Bristol and there's nowhere for me to have like a little shed for me to dye from, which means I'd have to rent a studio space, and studio spaces in Bristol are ridiculous prices, and a lot of them don't really have access to big sinks that I can fill with dye and dye powder and kind of make a mess of. So a lot of them are basically like office spaces, which would not suit me or what I do at all. So I'm at this, it's an impasse and I don't quite know where to go. So I'm just having to basically muddle through and try and get as much done as I can in my house. But we'll see how that goes. So I've been dyeing a lot of my regular colourways, but I've been trying to kind of experiment with new colours as well. So I've still got my subscription boxes, which it gives me the space to dye a new colourway at least every month. This month's, so January's, was so nice. I was really pleased with how it's come up. I would love to show you, but I can't this month because I don't want to ruin the surprise for anyone that's not received theirs yet. It came out, the colours came out as I was hoping they would. So the inspiration for January's subscription box was like sunsets and sunrises and just the colours that the really beautiful colours that you can get across the sky. So it would be like oranges and like lilac-y colours, and this one's yarn. It's so nice, and I was so pleased it came out like that. I love dyeing up the subscription boxes. So currently the subscription boxes also include a stitch marker every month, and I don't know how long they will be going on for. A few more months. I'm sort of running out of steam with coming up with the new stitch marker designs. I think trying to come up with one every month has been difficult because whilst I come up with the illustrations, when they're shrunk down to about an inch, sometimes the designs don't work as well as I'd hoped, and because I'm trying to do one a new one every month, I feel a lot of pressure in trying to come up with the new design that would work tiny, and it sort of stunts the inspiration, I guess. It's made it really difficult for me, so I don't know how much longer the stitch markers will be with the clubs for. The next few months I've already designed and I've sent off and got them made, so at the very least they'll be going on until May, I think, for the stitch markers. But I'll let you guys know when I know for definite whether it will be transferring over to a yarn only subscription or if they'll be going stitch marker and yarn. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it's like the pressure of trying to make a really nice design and then shrink it down so it's tiny, or if it's just designs in general. I've come out some really nice ones. I'm super pleased with them, and they'll be staying. The stitch markers will be staying, but yeah, it's the constant need for new designs is running a bit thin, so that might be changing. As I said before, my brain is not settling or focusing on anything properly because I'm aware of everything else going on in the background. So I'm just gonna run straight through, I think. I'm sure there's some things that I've forgotten, there always is, but I will write everything up and pop it on my blog, which I will leave a link down in the description for, because there's bound to be something that I've forgotten to update you guys on, but the yarn shows and the stitch marker club are the two main things that I think I wanted to tell you guys about. But yeah, on to knitting. This year for Christmas I decided to knit my family's socks. I managed to get both of my sisters' socks finished in time, which was great, but I forgot to take photos of them, which is really annoying. I have asked them to take photos for me. I think that's fallen on deaf ears, to be honest. I haven't received any photos from them, so I'm guessing that they just have to be blank on my Ravelry page. But just to tell you guys about them, my youngest sister is super into sports and fitness, so I knitted her some trainer socks. I managed to fade two colours together, which looks quite cool, to be honest. I used a shadow wrap heel, which is the first time I've used those ones, and I really enjoyed that heel pattern. I don't know what it's like for fit, because I haven't done one for my feet yet, but it was really nice to knit. I found there was no gaps around the heel as well, which sometimes I find for the German short row, and I usually always find them for the gusset heel as well, but like the heel flap and gusset. But it's really nice. It's a little bit finicky on the first few times, because I have to try and remember what I was doing, but actually it turned out really nicely. So those were the socks for Sadie. They were just done in some fingering weight yarn, which I hand dyed up myself. So for my other sister, the middle child, so in between Sadie's and my age, she works as a dog walk. Well, no, that's wrong. She works for a greyhound rescue charity, and she looks after the animals basically. So she looks after the dogs, does a lot of dog walking. So I wanted to make sure that her feet were warm during winter, so I knit her a pair of double knit socks. I used the laid edges pattern, so again, I don't have a photo for her, but I will place a photo from the pattern there, hopefully. It is a really nice, simple, and very simple. It was a great little pattern. It's a simple double knit sock with just a really pretty little, almost cable pattern down the edges, and it was a heel flap and gusset heel as well, but reinforced one, I think. I can't remember. It was a while ago that I knit it. It was in December. Don't ask. But yeah, so that's those two socks, and then I knit my mum. I knit my mum a pair of socks as well. but I've only just finished them like 2 weeks ago, so they're still in my house because I haven't seen my mum since. So I can actually show you guys those ones. So God, there's cat hair galore attached to it. That's not good, is it? So I knit the Kuntum socks from the 52 Weeks of Socks book. I really like this one. There's just cat hair flying around everywhere now. Living with long-haired cats. Nah. So with these ones, I don't know whether it will pick them up, but they've got this really nice cable pattern down the centre of the sock and really nice simple bit of ribbing around the back, so they're nice and stretchy. These were just knit from my Merino sock base. It's a bit of a misdye, so these were supposed to be my Valentine, but I added too much water, so the dye spread more than I meant it to. So it's a lot more redder than it should be. It's still a pretty colour though, I quite like these. But yeah, so these are my mum's. They were the first project I finished in 2022 as well, so that's quite nice. But yeah, so I've got to wrap them and send them down because I don't know when I'm going to see my mum again, to be honest. They only live in Somerset, which isn't too far from Bristol, but it's still like a 50-mile, yeah, I think it's a 50-mile trip, which works out to about 3 hours round trip, so hour and a half down to see them, an hour and a half back, so it's still a bit of a trek. So I don't see them as often as I'd like, but I might just send them and not tell her they're turning up so she gets a nice surprise. I think that'd be a nice thing to do. So that's my sort of finished objects, I guess, for so far. The first month of 2022 works out quite well. I am still working on my SHAWLOGRAPHY. I started it back when SHAWLOGRAPHY, the Mystery Cow, was going on, but I couldn't keep up because I was also trying to get everything ready for Christmas and it just didn't happen. So I am so close to having it finished now, so close. I think I will finish it by the end of the week, hopefully. But it's a lot of ends to weave in, so they're going to take another week, I think, at the very least. But so let me just get this out for you guys. So this is my SHAWLOGRAPHY so far. So I'm just on the last bit on this striping, so the striping's just got to finish off around these edges, but this is what it will look like when it's finished. Just ignore the ends I haven't weaved in, and then I just got to block it. I'm so close to having it finished. I'm almost bored of it now, to be honest. I kind of just want to get it done and then I can start on another project, because it's been sat, what was it? SHAWLOGRAPHY came out in November, so it's been in my bag for a while. I'm almost sick of the sight of it. I just want it done. So the colours that I've used, they're all Woollen Wytch, so my hand-dyed ones, and I actually really like the way the colours are all laid out. It looks really nice. I wasn't too sure of this big blocky stripes to start with, but they're sort of growing on me now. I have seen a lot of people's versions where they've faded them or they've changed this sort of section completely, but no, it's growing on me. I do like it. I think I will wear it as well, which is my other worry whilst I was knitting it. So the colours that I've used, let's try to get them all on the screen. So we've got Scarab Beetle, Divining the Truth, Sunshine, Grove Sister and Smudge. So that was my 5 that I picked. I obviously used my own hand-dyed yarn because I have an abundance, or had an abundance of yarn. Now I don't, and I have to dye everything again. I'm not going to drop this because there's so much to do, but yeah, basically I'm so close to finishing it now. I have been trying to do a couple of rows every time I sit down, basically. I've been taking it to work to do on my breaks at work, and I do look like the weirdo knitting in the corner whilst everyone is having cups of tea and stuff. Yeah, just want it done. Want it done? I will get it done. I'm not sure what the next project will be. I want to knit up a few shawls and jumpers and things to have as samples for my tables and stuff at the shows, but I kind of want to knit for me, for things that I will wear as well. So I really want to knit a cardigan this year. That's my main goal for the year, I think, is to knit myself a cardigan. Something that looks nice, like dressed up, but also I can just throw it on around the house and be nice and cozy and warm. So that's my goal. You guys have to hold me to it. That's your responsibility. I'm passing that on to you now, apparently. I'd love to know what you guys are working on. I'm going to leave it there because I have just realised I've left the stove on with some yarn on top of it, so I need to go down and check it. So I wish you all the best. I hope everyone had a really great Christmas and a fantastic New Year's and everything. I know it's belated, but go with me on it. And if you're coming to any of the shows, let me know. If you're looking for something I might have on the table, or you desperately want to come and pick something up from me, send me a message. And that was a postman. I'm gonna run. Have a good day, guys. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Steph and welcome back to another woolen blah, 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 blah. So I've still got this me going bah!